Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjanan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gaudamanubhishtam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Rupanugacharya Varyam Rupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karunyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpa Taruvyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismirahasara Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Sopriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vrindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances to the dust of the lotus feet of Paramaradhatama Shri Guru Pada Padmo Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Rasata Srimad Shila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Shila Gurudev. And to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Ashtota Rasata Srimad Shila Bhakti Vijnana Bharati Goswami Maharaj. And to all Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga, to all Tridandi Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. So by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. So, verse number 7. Aparinimishadhigyam jusanatam mukham bhujam apitam api natripyat santascha charanam jata. Another gopi was repeatedly drinking the nectarian honey flowing from Shri Krishna's lotus face with her unblinking eyes. Yet her thirst was never quenched, just as the fully dedicated saintly devotees who always serve the lotus feet of Bhagavan are also never satisfied. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. So there was one more gopi who was drinking the nectarian sweetness of Krishna's lotus face with her unblinking eyes. But she was not feeling satisfied. So here, the beautiful and sweet face of Krishna is being compared to a lotus which is dripping honey. So the eyes of the gopi was compared to the tongue. It means that she was very greedy to taste the sweetness of Krishna's face. The devotees who are in Dasarasa, although they have darshan of Krishna's face, they will always remain thirsty. But this gopi, although she was able to drink all the sweetness of Krishna's face, the honey, she was not satisfied. So at the same time, Krishna's lotus face is the shelter of his sweetness. So, and devotees in Dasarasa and the Braja Gopis, they will have a different experience of Krishna's face. So this gopi, she was in front of Krishna, staring at his face with unblinking eyes. By that we can understand that she is a haughty heroine, Prakara Naika. She is arrogantly superior. She feels superiority. What type of arrogance? So why? Because she thinks Krishna himself will come and meet me. I will not go to him. So thinking like this, she is holding her ground and she is not moving. So this type of heroine has three qualities. She is a very good friend. she can control her lover, and she has a leftist nature, Bhama. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So one more gopi, she became stunned due to her excessive ecstasy. She was just like a bee when relishing the sweetness of Krishna's lotus face with her unblinking eyes. But there is also another meaning, because she was not getting any satisfaction from that. So the previous verse described how Krishna was being attacked by the arrows from Srimati Radhika's glances, and that made him tremble in fear. When these emotions reflected on his lotus face, at that moment, his sweetness increased. And then this gopi, she is drinking and relishing that transformation, that sweet transformation of Krishna's face. So she continued relishing Krishna's beauty with her unblinking eyes. Because of Radharani's glance upon Krishna, his beauty increased so much. Then he begins to feel many type of sanchari bhavas, or transitory ecstasies. He was trembling in fear, he was feeling embarrassed, he was feeling despondency and humbleness. Despondency means when you lose hope. As this gopi is looking at that sweetness, her thirst becomes even more, increases even more, and she is not satisfied. Krishna was totally mesmerized by Srimati Radhika, who was shooting arrows with her glances against him. His mind and his vision were completely chained by Srimati Radhika. Chained to her means attached to her. And he had not even the slightest thought for any other gopi. Therefore, this gopi, she considered, at this moment, Krishna is not looking at me. So therefore, she took the opportunity to look at Krishna's face with unblinking eyes, because Krishna was not looking to her, so she was not shy to look at him. So therefore, it can be understood that Srimati Radhika, she was enjoying the greatest good fortune in every respect. So this gopi, which we're talking about, this is Lalita Sakhi. She is a Parama Prishta Sakhi of Srimati Radhika, and she's the foremost of Krishna's sweethearts. Now the verse number 8. Tam kachim nitarandrena ridhi kritva nimilyacha pulakangi upagyukyaste yogi vananda sampluta. One Brajadevi took Shri Krishna into her heart through the path of her eyes, upon which she closed her eyes and embraced him within. She became immersed in the topmost bliss, and her bodily hairs stood on the end, just like a perfected yogi, having obtained his worshipable super soul in meditation. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. So one Brajadevi brought Shri Krishna into her heart through the path of her eyes, and then became immersed in bliss. So just like the sun and other planets, they have attachment for the sky that is supporting them. Krishna has also great attachment for the heart of the Braja Gopis. So due to her emotional ecstasy, she manifested horripilation, means her hair stand on end. And internally, she held Krishna, she kept Krishna in her embrace for a long time. So she became immersed in bliss, just like a yogi. So this example is given to describe the inner vision of the gopi like a spurti. So she became absorbed in meditation, just like a yogi. And then she manifested the following qualities. She is soft-hearted gopi. She is mridvi. That is indicated by her shyness. She also enjoys intimate friendship with her lover, and she can bring the lover under her control. And she's a left-wing heroine. So in this way, the 7 prominent gopis have been described. But in Vishnu Purana, it is mentioned one more gopi, the 8th gopi. So one gopi, when she saw Govinda coming, she became very joyful and began to chant, Krishna, Krishna. She could not say anything else, only Krishna's name. And by that statement, it shows that this gopi, she is very bold and simple. So here is the analysis of this topic. So the ecstasy named Rati, which is the intense attachment, is of two types. The first one is called Tadiyata Bhavana Moy, which means I belong to my dear most beloved. Few shlokas before, we also discussed what is Tadiyata and Madhyata. Tadiyata is the sense of belonging to, and Madhyata is the sense of possessing the beloved. So now, then this gopi, she is Tadiyata. She thinks, I belong to my dear most beloved. She displays a submissive right-wing mood towards her lover. And the Madhyata Bhavanamoy, the heroine who thinks, my beloved is mine. Due to her vast love, she exhibits a left-wing mood, Bhamabhav, feeling that she controls her lover. So as these two moods mix together in different proportions, many more types of moods manifest. Therefore, there are so many Brajadevis with a great variety of moods. So there are the gopis who are Sajatiya, who share a mutually compatible mood. So they become friends and they form a partnership called Swapaksha. So Swapaksha means the feeling that there are some gopis who have the same mood as mine. So they belong to my party. So all the gopis, they will group together in different parties according to their compatibility of moods. Those groups who have antagonistic mood, they're called Vipaksha because they act in competition with each other. And then there is another group who have some type of compatibility with the Swapakshas, but they also have a little bit of another mood. So they are called Suritpaksha. So they have a little bit of friendship towards the Swapaksha. Swapaksha means the group of Srimati Radhika. And there is also the Tatashta. Tatashta means those who are in the borderline. They are like neutral. They are only inclined towards their own moods for Krishna. They don't want to mix with any other group. And the only reason they are together is because they have the same moods towards Krishna. Of course, we are speaking from the point of view of Radhika's group. So then we say the Radhika's Swapaksha. But Swapaksha means that it can be the own group for any group. Understand? So if you take as a reference Chandravali's group, her group is Swapaksha. And the opposite Vipaksha means Radharani's group. One who helped to attain the desired goal, and the other one who removed the obstacles. Now, of these two moods, Madhyata and Tadiyata, Madhyata is superior to the Tadiyata. So why? Because their feeling of possessiveness gives Krishna the opportunity to relish the human-like pastimes in much better way. So therefore, the Madhyata has a much stronger flow of love. So, and when this love is coming with so much power in this Madhyata, it does not go straight. It is spread in so many different ways, like in the crooked ways. There is another name for this phenomenon, which is called Kautilya Abhasa, which is the semblance of the crooked behavior. So according to Bharata Muni, the movement of love is crooked, just like a moving snake. The nature of this love is that the heroine, she acts in a very crooked way, externally. And because of this, the lover is controlled by the leftist mood of the Madhyata Gopi. In this connection, Lord Shiva, he says that a woman's contrary mood means the difficulty to meet with her and the woman's rejection of her love are like the main weapons of Cupid, because this is the means for a woman to captivate her sweetheart beloved. So in this regard, the Sri Harivamsa mentions about Sri Satyabhama Devi. Sri Satyabhama Devi is young and beautiful, but she became proud due to her great good fortune. When she heard Narada Muni describing the good fortune of Rukmini, then the arrogant Satyabhama became filled with envy. So Shri Rukmini, the daughter of King Bhishmaka, is the queen of the general populace and is the head of the whole royal family. And Sri Satyabhama, she is the best among all the ladies. And she also enjoys a great good fortune. So Here in Rasa Pancadhyayi, the verses 4 and 5, they describe the four rightist gopis who have the mood of Tadhyata. Then in verses 6, 7, and 8, there are three types of Madhyata gopis. So in this way we see that Shukadeva Goswami, he gave more consideration to the mood of Madhyata. The last three verses describe one gopi by saying that she has arched her eyebrows. She's the best among all gopis. And she's endowed with a very special sentiment. And she therefore is described first. No other gopi can possess that most exceptional mood. She is the best among all the gopis. And her mood is manifesting when Krishna is forsaking her and she is thrown into separation. So Shri Krishna abandoned all the Braja gopis except this one, to whom he bestowed the good fortune to carry her with him. So that gopi who was taken by Krishna, she was standing and staring at him with her eyes like bow and arrow. So then he describes here how the name of the gopis appear in the Shastras and the different pastimes between Krishna and the gopis that came from different Shastras also. Then he's describing how Uddhava came again to Braj as Krishna's messenger. So when the gopis met with him, they expressed their feelings just as they would have met with Krishna himself. But their interaction was very distressful, and Jiva Goswami don't want to describe this because he's in the middle of the description of the happy rasa dance. So then he's now describing why Radharani is the best gopi, and he quotes verses from Padma Purana and also Brihad Gautamiya Tantra. Then he's quoting some stories of Bhivamangala Thakur about Radha and Chandravali. Why? Because Shukadeva Goswami does not mention the names of all these gopis. So he's giving evidence from other Shastras to prove which gopis are those, the 8 prominent gopis. Then Jiva Goswami is saying that, but I had to mention the names of these gopis in my comments, but I feel shy after that. And then he said, O Krishna and all your beloveds, all of you are my only shelter. Mercifully forgive me by being imprudent, because I have no other way to do. So we'll continue in the verse number 8 with the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Just to remind us about the meaning of the verse 8 is that one Brajadevi, she took Krishna inside of her heart through her eyes. And then she closed the eyes and embraced Krishna in her heart. And she became immersed in the topmost bliss. And she manifested so many ecstatic symptoms like hairs standing on end. Just like a perfect yogi who obtained the meditation of his worshipable super soul. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So one gopi, feeling so much apprehension, she was thinking, due to great good fortune, I have connected with this lover, but he is so fickle that he may leave me again. It means she's saying that Krishna, he is so unstable that there is no guarantee that he will stay with me. Therefore, as soon as she saw Krishna, she took him and placed him inside of her heart. And she became completely immersed in bliss. So, fearing that Krishna may leave again from the door of her eyes, then she closed her eyes to not let Krishna escape. In this way, she experienced the great union, yoga, with her lover. And she kept her eyes closed for a long time, embracing Krishna inside of her heart. And because in her heart no one can see that she's meeting with Krishna, she did not feel shy. So in this way, the gopis, which were actually described in the verses 6, 7, and 8, they did not come close to Krishna. Therefore, we understand that they are Bama, means they are left-wing gopis. So it means they think that Krishna should actually come to us. We shall never go to him. So in this way, shows that they have the mood of possessiveness, madhyata bhava, that Krishna belongs to me. This mood is called madhu sneha, the affection like the honey. So in this way, we understand that these gopis are extremely intimate with Krishna and they keep him under their control. So this mood is called Swadhina Bhartrika. Then we can understand that among these three gopis, the first one is Radhika, with the topmost leader of all gopis. Then the other one, the second one is Lalita, and the third is Vishakha. The commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad mentioned actually about 7 Sakhis from the verses 4 to 8. Chandravali, Shamala, Shaibya, Padma, Radha, Lalita, and Vishakha. So Shukadeva Goswami, he also mentioned the 7 prominent gopis. And Vishnu Purana actually count 8 prominent gopis. So in this way, the other gopi which is missing is Bhadra. She felt so much bliss when she saw Krishna that she could only speak Krishna Krishna and not say anything else. So Jiva Goswami also mentioned, actually he quotes from Skanda Purana, that within these 8 gopis, that there is actually 8 gopis among 3 billion gopis. So the total of gopis are in number of 3 billion. If you want to learn more about the different moods and hierarchy of gopis, you can study the Ujjvala Nilmani book from Rupa Goswami. Among all the gopis, the most prominent one is Srimati Radhika. In Padma Purana is clearly stated that just as Sri Radhika is dear to Krishna, similarly her pond, Radha Kunda, is also very dear to him. Among all these gopis, Radha alone is the dearmost to Krishna. Also in the Brihad Gautamiya Tantra, it is said that the beautiful, effulgent goddess Sri Radhika is totally absorbed in Krishna. She is the most worshipable goddess, presiding over all the Lakshmis, goddesses of fortune. She has all the splendor in herself, means all the beauty. She can enchant Krishna completely, and she's a supreme ruler. So also in the Rig Parishishta, it is said that Sri Madhava is present with Radha, and Radha is present with Sri Madhava all time. Okay, so this is the end of the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now verse number 9. Sarvasta Keshava Loka Paramotsava Nivrita Jahur Virahajam Tapam Pragyam Prapya Jathajana. Seeing their beloved Keshava, the gopis experienced a great festival of bliss and were liberated from the anguish of separation, just as people become free from the pangs of material existence upon receiving the association of a great devotee of Bhagavan. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. Out of 3 billion gopis, 8 are prominent. They have just been discussed in the previous verses. But what happened to the rest of the Brajadevis? So expecting this question from the public, Shukadeva Goswami, he speaks this verse, number 9. Sarva means that all the gopis together, they became absorbed in topmost bliss just by seeing Krishna. In this verse, the word Keshava has been used to mean that something which is most effulgent. Sri Keshava, he saw that the Braja gopis, they became so much proud due to their good fortune. And now they are exhibiting man also. So in order to break their pride and satisfy them, he suddenly disappeared from their assembly. However, in this 9th verse, the word Keshava has been used to indicate the one who has a very beautiful hair. Also, it is saying in the beginning of this chapter that Krishna appeared manifesting that form which is attractive for the entire world. So in this way, the word Keshava indicates the glorification of Krishna's beauty, which is enchanting the whole universe. So the meaning of the word Keshava in both verses can be accepted as a reservoir of the supreme effulgence. The explanation of the word Keshava in the previous verse, it is that the Brajadevis lost their effulgence due to Keshava's vanishing. Means when Krishna left, the gopis lost their effulgence. So in the same way, we can understand that their effulgence, he appeared when Keshava also reappeared. So we can compare with the sun. When the sun is visible, it illuminates the whole world, and when it sets, the world is immersed in darkness. So similarly, the most brilliant form of Keshava is just like the sun, the embodiment of concentrated effulgence. When this form disappeared, the hearts of the Brajadevis became covered with darkness of distress of separation. So when that form of concentrated effulgence reappeared, then the gopis' agitation from the separation was removed and they experienced a great bliss. So as Shri Krishna's darshan bestowed the topmost joy, the gopis enjoyed a festival of supreme happiness. Just to give a suitable example, Shukadeva Goswami, he speaks the word pragyam. When the embodied living entity is in ignorance, upon reaching the state of deep sleep, his gross and subtle senses becomes inactive. Then he experiences the presence of pragya. At that time, the immediate destruction of the threefold miseries begins. It is not completed, but the hope for it is set in motion. However, in this state, the mode of ignorance remains present, is in visible form. So the agitation of the living entity is not completely annihilated until the ignorance is removed completely. Similarly, the anguish of the Brajadevis in separation began to disappear due to the darshan of Krishna. However, it did not vanish completely at once because of the fear hidden in their hearts that Krishna, he may abandon us again. In this way, the agitation of a person by the material existence begins to give up his distress when he receives the association of pragya, means the topmost devotees of Bhagavan. Similarly, the cowherd themselves also began to give up their grief generated from separation on attaining Shri Krishna. However, it was not completely removed at once. So in this way, these examples are given to show that there is only the beginning of the destruction of pain, but not the completion of the process. I can give one example, just try to make it more clear. So you have the fan connected to the current, and the fan is spinning very fast. If you disconnect the fan from the current, the fan will continue spinning for some time. In the same way, once we have the association of the devotees of Krishna, the pure devotees of Krishna, which are called pragya, topmost devotees of Krishna, it's just like we are disconnecting ourselves from Maya, but still so many type of distresses will continue to happen in our lives for some time. I can also think about something very interesting here. We have the word pragyam, which is associated with the word Keshava here in this verse. And we have our Parangrudeva, whose title is Bhakti Pragyana Keshava. So Keshava is the great effulgence, which we got the meaning here, just like the sun, concentrated effulgence. And Pragyam, or Pragyana, it is the association that you get from these pure devotees who bring with them the same type of effulgence that Krishna also have. So they can also relieve the devotees in the same way that Krishna is relieving the gopis. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarata Darshini. So here the word pragya means Parama Bhagavata, the topmost devotee, and Jana means the people agitated by the material existence. So Shukadeva Goswami, he said in connection with the description of the rainy season, Griheshu tapta nivina yatachuta janagame. The living entities were burning the fire of household life, become overjoyed by the arrival of a topmost pure devotee of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. This verse is Bhagavatam 10, 20, 20. So similarly, the gopis who were suffering separation, they received the topmost bliss upon seeing Shri Keshava, and they were relieved from their distress. Now verse number 10. Tabir vibhuta shokhabir bhagavam achuto vrita vyaro chattadadikam tata purusha shaktivir jatha. O Parikshit, Bhagavan Shri Achyuta,
situated in his Sachidananda form and ever possessed of divine beauty and sweetness, is looking even more attractive today, being surrounded by the gopis, who were relieved from their distress of separation. Thus, adorned, Krishna appeared just like the super soul encircled by his intrinsic potencies. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Tushani. So all the gopis, they gave up their pride and their man, and then they gathered together and followed Shri Krishna. Krishna's supreme beauty manifested at that time, being surrounded by the gopis. So Shukadeva Goswami, he describes this situation in 3 verses, beginning with the verse 10. The phrase Viduta Shokabhi refers to the gopis who were totally free from the distress of separation. Parashara Muni, he has described the special reason behind the liberation of the gopis from the anguish of separation, Viraha Tapa. He said, Sri Madhava appeared in the midst of those gopis and removed their distress by sweetly conversing with one, glancing at another, while he's arching his eyebrows and touching another one with his cooling hands. So, thus, accepting all of them, he extinguished their sorrow out of separation. As in this way, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is complete in every respect, being always endowed infinitely with 6 opulences. Thus, he is called Achyuta, the infallible one. He will never diminish even a drop from the state of absolute completeness. This is his nature. When he met with the gopis, who are embodiment of his internal potency, that manifests a special prema, and then he freed them from the stress of separation, he began to radiate even more beauty than before. So it means he was even more beautiful after the gopis become free from that stress of separation. So just like as his impersonal aspect as Brahma, he does not look so beautiful as he looks in his aspect of Bhagavan, Bhagavat Rupa. Moreover, when he is surrounded by the gopis, he becomes even more beautiful than he is naturally, because then there is a very special manifestation of prema. So by the contact of Gopi Prem, then Krishna, he manifests even more beauty. So Shukadeva Goswami, he is saying to King Parikshit, O Parikshit, you are the recipient of my topmost mercy. For this reason, I am revealing this great secret to you. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Any person will look very much charming when he is endowed with the potencies of his senses, and automatically he also loses attractiveness when the power of the senses diminishes. So the gopis, when they are lost in lamentation, Krishna will reflect the distress of the gopis. So therefore, his beauty and charm is diminishing. Automatically, when the gopis are free from the distress of separation, they become even more effulgent and more beautiful. So therefore, when Krishna meets the gopis, his beauty also increases many, many times. So a person is happy when his senses are satisfied, and he feels actually miserable when his senses are distressed. Similarly, Krishna experiences joy in the happiness of the gopis, and he feels misery with their distress. So that is saying, that shows that Krishna becomes fully fulfilled by the love of the gopis. In other words, Krishna's love will follow the love of the gopis. Means his love is dependent on their love. However, gopis' love is not controlled by Krishna's love. Rather, their love, reflecting their inherent natures, is independent. This principle has been explained in the Prabhasha Khanda of the Skanda Purana. 16,000 gopis gathered in the Rasa dance arena. Among them, Janardana Shri Krishna, the Super Soul and well-wisher of all beings, appeared like a swan or like the gopis' very life heirs. O Goddess Parvati, these gopis are known as Shri Krishna's 16 potencies. Krishna is like the full moon, and the gopis represent the 16 phases of the moon. So as the gopis, they appear together in a circle, these phases will complete like a full moon circle. So the 16 phases of the moon have taken the form of the 16 main gopis. So the 16 gopis accepted different moods, and they also manifested in 1,000 different bodies. Also in the Agama Shastras, we find that surrounded by 1 billion beautiful gopis in the Rasa Mandala, Krishna looked especially wonderful. So from all evidences, it can be known that 300 crore cowherd themselves were present in the Rasa dance. Means 3 billion gopis were present in the Rasa dance. Among them, there are 16 prominent gopis. Among them, 8 are more prominent. And among 8, only 2, Radha and Chandravali, are the chiefs. And among them, Radha is the supreme. Now verses 11 and 12. Tas samadhaya kalindya nirvishya pulinam vibhu vikalshat kundamandara surabya nila satpadam sarachandram shu sandoha dvastadosha tamashivam Krishnaya hastatarala chitta komala valukam. The one and only all-powerful Shri Krishna, looking very beautiful and charming, accompanied the cowherd themselves to the extremely delightful bank of the Yamuna. There, the gentle breeze was blowing, carrying the fragrance of the kunda and mandara blossoms, and the riverbank was reverberating with the humming of the bumblebees, intoxicated from the sweet smell of nectar. The autumn full moon diffused its splendid rays and dispelled the darkness of the night, thus making the whole atmosphere auspicious. With her hand like waves, Sri Yamuna piled up soft sand on her shore, creating the stage for Krishna's sweet Leela. So another commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. So the previous verse mentioned that Krishna began to manifest a unique beauty. Now the 2 verses which are coming, 11 and 12, they described the elements which are enhancing Krishna's beauty. So samadhaya means catching the hands of all the gopis together. So first, Krishna arrived at the bank of Yamuna, where he met all the gopis. And then he proceeded to another sandbank, which was suitable for the Rasa dance. So he situated himself in the middle of the second sandbank, where he began to radiate a very special beauty. So someone may challenge by saying that Krishna is only one. How could he catch the hand of every gopi at that time? So to remove this doubt, Shukadeva Goswami says that Krishna is Vibhu. He is all-pervading. Means he can stay in many places simultaneously. Though Krishna is only one, he desired to pacify all the gopis at once by praising them and also by being charitable to them. Therefore, he caught the hands of all of them at the same time. Now, in 1.5 verses, beginning with Vikashat, he describes the elements that were present to stimulate ecstasy. And then he established the suitability of the Yamuna's sandy bank for the Rasa dance. The wind was favorable, full of sweet fragrance coming from the flowers Mandara and Kunda. The bumblebees, they were attracted by that, and they began to fly around on the bank of Yamuna. So by that statement, we can understand that the wind was very cool and fragrant and was moving very slowly. If the wind was blowing fast, then there would be no chance for any bumblebee to be flying on the bank of Yamuna. Also, the darkness of the night was dissipated by the strong rays of the full moon, of the full autumn moon. So here the word sharat means autumn, indicates that the rays of the moons were bestowing the topmost serenity. The word sandoha means abundance, indicates that the full moon was so effulgent that it dispelled the darkness, making it look like it was daytime. And with her hand like waves, Yamuna spread very soft sand on the bank, making the proper platform for Rasa dance. So Yamuna is like Krishna's Sakhi, and she has the same black color, and her name is Krishna. So therefore, she prepared the Rasa Mandala by spreading very soft sand with her wave-like hands. She attracts the heart of Krishna by her divine beauty, and thus she is known as Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam 10:11:36, he said that Sri Balaram and Sri Krishna became greatly happy on seeing Vrindavan, Govardhan, and the bank of Yamuna. So Krishna, he entered the bank of Yamuna by taking the hands of all the gopis with him. Then he manifested his great opulence by being with all the gopis at the same time. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Saratta Darshini. So one Krishna accepted 1 billion gopis, accepting their hands, the hand of each one of the gopis, and laughing, he came to the bank of Yamuna, where he looked very, very beautiful. Then there the wind was blowing, carrying the fragrance of the flowers, Kunda and Mandara. Therefore the bumblebees were coming, attracted by that fragrance. And because the wind was blowing over the river, we can understand that it was very cooling. Due to the rays of the autumn full moon, the darkness of the night disappeared, making the place very pleasant. So Yamuna prepared all the place with a very soft sand, with her hand-like waves. So now everything is very beautiful and suitable in every respect for Krishna gopis to play the Rasa Lila. So my pranams to everyone. Vanchakalpatar Vishwa Kripa Sindhubheva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna.